Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, I want to do something a little bit different right now. Virgos, we're going to take a look at what is the life that Virgo is supposed to have. And when I say supposed to, please bear in mind, of course, I always say that our characters get to create their own destinies, right? But what I'm getting at when I say this is like we want to take a look at anything that's like blocking Virgo, or what is it that they they are supposed to be able to have, achieve, what abundance are they supposed to be able to enjoy. And I love the fact that like a life path that is available, especially right now to Virgo, should they choose to accept, is Two of Cups. There is a very beautiful love story for Virgo. There is a very powerful soulmate that they could build with, they could love with, they could have a forever after with, they could have as a business partner, a confidant, somebody who would help Virgo's heart heal and they would help this person heal. They would become more together. So that love exists for Virgo. Queen of Wands. Also, Virgo should feel extremely attractive and extremely secure in their attractiveness. This is another component of the life that Virgo is supposed to have. This is a pathway for them, right? Everything in my storytelling is always about like potential pathways for characters if they were to, we see what actions they're taking, we see what those actions might yield, or we see opportunities that characters could choose to go down. But this, I wanted to just say, like, from the universe's perspective, right? Everything's about the universe this week, with that backdrop. What is it that could be the thing Virgo is supposed to be able to access? And it says, especially like right about now, this is a great time for Virgo to access this kind of a life. Five of Swords in the reverse. Arguments, fights can end. Better dialogue. If Virgos always felt like they had to fight for everything in their life, and maybe they'd always felt like I ended up in relationships where there was conflict, I had to fight just to have people treat me decently. I don't ever want to do that anymore. This for this Virgo, it says Virgo doesn't need to do that anymore. Tower is upright, and the Four of Cups is upright. There is what the universe is urging Virgo right now is to acknowledge that, Virgo, you have this amazing path open to you, but you have to receive it. It's as simple as that. Like, surrender to it. Surrender, hostilities, hard feelings. Look deep inside and say, have I been harboring this concept that my life's always going to be hard? That I'm always going to start out like this. Virgo could have superstitions that they need to break. This could be somebody who's like, I meet somebody, it can always start out great. We have this intellectual bond, we have this, wonderful physical bond, but then something always goes belly up. Like as soon as, like whatever, date 12, I always know that's when it goes bad. Or at the 3-month mark, that's where everything for me always falls apart. The universe is challenging Virgo, lay that storyline down. Surrender that and surrender to the idea of love, because right now it's gently suggesting that, whether or not Virgo knows it, a preconceived superstition, or like, I'll say, it's hard not to subconsciously start to believe things if we've experienced certain things, especially on repeat, and then think, I tell myself I'm not thinking negatively, but maybe really I kind of find myself doing that. I can understand that, but the universe is really encouraging Virgo, throw away those ideas that somehow everything's got to be a battle, and that love itself is a battle, and that love is hard. Throw away those ideas. Surrender to this concept that love is coming into your life, Virgo, that someone wants to connect to you. And this could be anyone. This says, if there is somebody in Virgo's heart right now, I think Virgo needs to say, even if I had conflict with someone, if they're still in my heart, if there's someone I would want back, if there's somebody that I had struggles with, but if they're a good person, and if they want to heal things with me, and if they didn't mean to hurt me, and if, it wasn't too heinous. I mean, we're not saying Virgo should be welcoming back, any kind of abusive behavior, right? I never tell stories about abuse because I have zero tolerance for any of that. But humans sometimes, fumble and they make mistakes, and we do hurt each other sometimes. But the difference is, as long as somebody doesn't intend to hurt someone, that's to me the defining difference there. But this just says, if there is, for Virgo to just open up their heart and say, I don't have to believe anything is a missed opportunity. I don't have to weep or cry about anything, any relationship that, I mean, maybe some relationships really needed to end and it was nothing but conflict. then celebrate the fact that those conflicts are out of one's life. But if there are relationships or a relationship that still Virgo still wants back or would be open to, this is just Virgo maybe needing to surrender to like whatever the greatest and highest good is. I'm not going to focus on creating blockages to anything that would be in my greatest and highest good, particularly love. We've got Empress in the reverse, we've got Temperance. If Virgo is also struggling with this concept that, hey, well, listen, I never ended up being somebody's, I'm hearing that song, I'm nobody's wife and I'm nobody's baby. I like that way. But then again, maybe there are monsters and there are angels. There's sugar and there's spice. There's ice and there's fire in every single heart. Sorry, I don't know who sings that right now, but the song's in my mind. This says for Virgo to make peace with the fact maybe Virgo never got married, or maybe Virgo has been married and divorced. And maybe Virgo's like, look, somewhere deep down fundamentally, maybe there's a fear that maybe nobody wants to marry me or I'm not marriage material. And the universe is like, F that, baby girl, baby boy, F that. You are absolutely, maybe nobody was good enough to hang on to you, babe. Maybe that's the most effed up thing ever to say, I must not be any good. I must be toxic. Nope. Maybe they couldn't cut it. Maybe they needed to swagger on out of Virgo's life because they weren't a match for Virgo. True, some people don't bring out the best in us. Some people bring out the fighter in us or the person who wants to, stand up for ourselves. And we find ourselves like at every turn acting like, God, I've never had this much, like need everything this person does, like pushes my buttons. Maybe, and it's good to do self-checks. But on the other hand, sometimes there are times when people are trespassing and we're like, I should not have to constantly push somebody back because they keep trespassing on my boundaries. But I'm wondering if this Virgo slipped into this subconscious belief that maybe I'm the broken one, maybe I'm mean, maybe I'm this and that. And the universe says, hey, darling, flip it on the other side. Maybe there were some people trying to take advantage of your sweetness, your kindness, your love, your loyalty. Maybe the reason they're not in your life is because they weren't up to snuff for you. Maybe you having a boundary ran somebody off. Good riddance. It just says make peace with the fact instead of looking at it like I must be the, used goods, dented tin cans. We're all dented tin cans, right? Every person on earth, we all got our little idiosyncrasies and we all got our little, perceived like flaws and, our personality quirks and all that. Who cares? It's all about finding the quirks that mesh with ours. And, if we're striving to be a decent person and be kind, if we're considerate of others and that others have emotions and needs and, like not everyone's going to match with us. We can be the nicest person, the most giving person on earth, and there will still be somebody that hates us or somebody that wants to take advantage of us or somebody that is unable to love us because of their hurdles. And it just kind of says for Virgo to get out of their head. That's the biggest stumbling block because this is the life Virgo has. Let's ask, okay, we've talked about blockages enough. And I think that's like, I think the big message here is Virgo, you're all right, darling. You're all right. There's nothing wrong with you that, that makes you unlovable or unable to have this wonderful kind of connection. This says Virgo would want to give. In this, please remember, these are fictional stories about fictional characters. So don't shoot the messengers on these, right? I'm just a storyteller. But in this story, I think here we have the butterfly again. This is so exciting. I'm so happy for our character. It says if Virgo can lay down some of those, kind of like subconscious notions and become more peaceful, basically accept themselves more, not pretend like they are somehow secretly believing that they'll never meet anybody and just instead say, of course I will, because I'm opening myself up to meeting somebody that I absolutely believe could love me. And whomever it is that is right for me, I will not block something that is in my greatest and highest good. I won't say that you meet somebody wonderful and sabotage it and try to convince them that I'm unlovable. I won't do that. So bring me the messages, bring me the letters, bring me, if somebody else has changed and they want to step back into my life, yes, I want to hear from them. If somebody that I love and who loves me wants to patch things up, yes. If somebody new who could love me and I could love them wants to send me a message, yes. I receive. This is all Virgo just saying, I receive. That is the mantra for our Virgo right now. and this is a big change. I don't think that was Virgo's mantra before. And this is maybe the subconscious thing. We have Hierophant in the reverse. We have Hanged Man upright. This also says if, for Virgo to remember that sometimes other people are like waiting for the signal as well, waiting and wondering everyone's got their own dents. Everybody's got their own fears. Maybe somebody else wasn't ready to be married yet. Maybe that's why. Maybe Virgo's partner, the partner of their life, was actually, maybe this was never about Virgo. Maybe there's been someone out there who's wanted to marry Virgo all this time. My impression is that's exactly what this story is. There's been a Two of Cups that has wanted to marry Virgo all this time, but they themselves maybe had similar worries. They weren't connected to their higher self. They kept waiting until they could feel good enough, worthy enough that could somebody really love me? Could Virgo really want to stay with me? What if I ask Virgo to love me? What if we say we're going to stay together, but then Virgo discovers that they don't think I'm that good? That's probably what'll happen. Oh God, I don't think I can ask Virgo for some permanent connection or let Virgo, tell me that they love me, because I'm pretty sure that they'll fall out of love with me. It almost feels like possibly a Pisces or a Taurus has been struggling with that concept in their own mind. We always forget other people have their fears just like we have our own. And I think this is such an eye-opening message. It's actually really sweet because it's encouraging like so much compassion. Four of Swords, especially if there's been delays and there hasn't been communication for a period of time. Maybe it's because two characters both had to wrap their head around their hurts, their wounds, and heal things. And it's kind of like a private thing that has to be healed. In this case, you know what? It's less about Virgo healing things, and it's more about Virgo releasing all those negative opinions, all those secretly held negative thoughts about, what is possible in their life, how their love story isn't going to be possible, even though other people are lovable, but secretly Virgo is like, yeah, but I'll never get that. Virgo has to release that. So it's been less about silently healing and more about like I'm picturing somebody who's like using, it's always so satisfying, isn't it? Those big squeegees where like the big window washers use, and it's just like, I don't know what else to call them other than squeegees, but I feel like Virgo is finally, I'm picturing somebody cleaning their shower, and it's like, with a shower that has like a glass door on it, and like spraying, the scum buildup remover, and then scraping that down, and all of a sudden it's like clear and you can see through it again. That's how this feels to me. That's the kind of healing or cleansing or releasing that needed to happen. So let me just ask then, is somebody who has been really scared, thinking that they were unlovable, is that someone who is coming into Virgo's world? We have a Queen of Cups upright, somebody who would very much love Virgo to love them. This is somebody who they think Virgo shines like a diamond. Eight of Swords, they have been sitting stuck out in the forest for a long time, scared probably to come forward, since that's a cowardly lion, scared to come forward, scared to ask Virgo that question, like, Virgo, do you think you could love me, with that Ace of Swords? This is someone who's, I'm just going to say that they, and by the way, we had Tin Man over here too, which, Tin Man was the one who wanted a heart in the Wizard of Oz, right? And he was all rusted up. And yet he already had this huge heart. I think Virgo's Two of Cups person has had the exact same fears that Virgo had. That's why we have the medical staff twice on here. These two met, these two imagined that they weren't going to be able to keep someone that they were so crazy about them. Ironically, Virgo and this person both had the same exact fears. Both individuals needed time apart to get to the point where they were ready to say, this is ridiculous. What am I doing? Why am I telling myself this? Virgo could be the one who actually sends a letter to somebody that they've been thinking about. It may not be that this person sends a letter to Virgo. Virgo might, in this new energy where they release any fears, Virgo might, just to free themselves, say, you know what? I need to send a letter. If I know that I loved somebody, but I was always scared maybe they wouldn't really love me, now that I'm not scared of any of that anymore, I'm going to go ahead and send that letter and say, hey, just so you know, I had really wanted to be with you, and I really didn't think at that point in my life that was possible, that somebody would love me the same way. So if I sabotaged it, I just want you to know if I ever hurt you, I didn't mean to. It was me needing to wrap my head around this. So there you have it. It's great when we start to recognize that our actions can sometimes hurt other people. Our own fears translate into making other people feel unloved. And it's like, hey, wait a second. Me being so scared that I wasn't lovable actually made me behave like someone else wasn't lovable. That's not okay. I don't want to hurt somebody else. That this feels like total freedom from this. But back to them, maybe this is something that they've needed to hear for so long. Are they in a place where they could be in a relationship Three of Swords sideways? I'm telling you, Virgo and this person have had the exact same kind of fears. And this storyline is all about shake off the fears, release the fears. You are lovable. That's, if there was one message, it's like, oh my God, shake off the fears. You are so lovable. And this is for both of them. Queen of Swords. And that is an undeniable truth that both people, they just both needed to get to this point. And I don't know if Virgo gets there before they do. This could be same-sex couple, reverse gender roles, does not matter. But we definitely have Virgo speaking their truth from here on out. Death card, big change, and it's very freeing. Whatever happens, whether or not it's like a specific person that Virgo wants to reach out to, that Virgo says, hey, just wanted you to know I actually really loved you, and I was so scared you couldn't love me that I may have sabotaged things, but I didn't mean to do that. The only thing is this person looks at Virgo as this incredibly loving person. They were scared they weren't lovable. So I don't know that they hurt each other in all this. I don't know that Virgo and this person hurt each other. This looks almost like they both had the same thing to like come to terms with. Can I just see one last card? Who's sending or receiving a message? Can we see anything about that? We got an 8 of Wands sideways. I don't know that it matters who sends what, whoever starts the train ride, because this is shared energy. This is such a great, and this card is about springtime. We know things are starting fresh for Virgo and this person. This might be one of the best Virgo stories we've had in a really long time. Very happy for this character. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye for right now. Take care.